That's the Hoenn Map, and this is my canvas. So starting today, we're painting the entire region, one area at a time. You'll see every step of my art process condensed to 90 seconds or less, as well as seeing my long-term growth go by in a matter of minutes. So here's the game plan. Rule number 1. Every area on the map must be present, as well as one of each Pokemon from the Hollandex. We'll go inside buildings sometimes, but major routes and caves always. Rule number 2, push the creativity. I struggle a lot with storytelling. I'm here to learn, so let's learn. Rule number 3, all rules get thrown out the window whenever they conflict with plain old fun. You learn way faster when you're enjoying yourself, and if art stops being fun, you've got a bit of a problem. So, let's begin. Our journey starts here in good old Littleroot Town. These early paintings are a little rough, but I learned a lot here and fast. I never used to be one to work on big projects, or even little projects honestly. Making art is really hard, as artists of any kind know all too well. And for me, the first bulk of my art journey, I was stuck in this rut where I felt like I had to get good before I could make the things I dreamt of. That I wasn't good enough yet to work on the cool projects I'd think up. This wasn't about what other people would think so much as it's about how crappy I would feel when I finished something and it didn't even come close to what I'd aimed for. This has honestly been the biggest hurdle for me to overcome, so far at least. And it was especially insidious because developing the cool ideas I dream up was what got me into art in the first place. I mean, how many other mediums can I sit down and in a matter of minutes fully communicate a fleshed out idea to you? There's a few, but not too many. Even here, these paintings take me a few hours, like the later ones are multiplying in painting time because the scale just keeps on growing. But it's still pretty quick to get the idea across. I couldn't build a game in 10 hours, but with a painting I can drag you into the world I'm developing, which is, I think, pretty freaking cool. Look at me prattling on, Littleroot Town's already done, and we can cross off 3 Pokemon from the decks. This means it's time for Route 102. I said before that early on in art, I struggled a lot with working on projects. When I say projects, I really just mean anything that wasn't basic practice or studies. I would draw boxes over and over, checking my perspective. I would do hours of gesture practice, trying to build up intuition for naturally dynamic and flowing poses. But ultimately, all this practice didn't go much of anywhere because I was too caught up in getting good to actually just be good. You can be a good artist at any skill level, which younger me didn't believe. Not towards other people. I looked at other amateur artists and thought the stuff they made was sick. It didn't matter when their rendering was whack or if their vanishing points were visibly off. Their art had so much style and cool storytelling going on, which I completely lacked. But then looking at my own drawings, I thought, man, I suck. I'll be good one day, but to get there, I need to study more, which is the advice that everyone gives, but it's bad advice. You don't need to study more, you need to go have fun. Caveat here, obviously there's a time for dedicated practice, but that point is massively overstated in the art communities I found myself in. You can practice through play and learn better while doing it. In doing these Hoenn Map paintings, I've learned more about color than in the thousands of hours prior, and had way more fun with it. I mean, just look, Professor Birch is fighting for his life with a baseball bat? Such a dumb idea, but it's goofy, and that's what makes it fun. Let's change pace here. We're on Oldale Town now, about 3.5 minutes in, and I've barely spoken about the art unfolding on screen. Making art now, typically what I'll do is sit down and think, what do I want to do? What cool ideas can I come up with? That's how this came about. What if I painted the entire Hoenn Map? So following on from whatever silly idea I come up with, I'll do some thumbnails. A lot of the time I already have a specific sort of vision for the thing anyway, but I make sure I thumbnail it first because you never know what you're not thinking of. The angle you're planning might actually be better flipped 180 degrees, which is what happened here. I realized I was about to do the same camera angle 3 times in a row. Once I'm bored of thumbnails, I'll do a bigger sketch. With digital art, I prefer to keep it simple. I have my sketch layer, base colors under that, and from there I kind of just stack overpaint layers on top whenever I start a new session. That way I can turn them off and on to see what I've done since sitting down, but I don't have many. Navigating layers drives me crazy, and if I have too many, I get lost really fast, so simple is the way to go. Plus, Clip Studio, as much as I love it, can kinda chug when you've got too much going on. It's just a clunky program at times. You can see here that for some of these areas, I'm merging a few into one. Route 103 just feels like a part of Oldale, so splitting it off into a separate painting would be a bit boring. Way more fun to stitch them together and really up the sense of scale. And now with this painting done, it means we're cutting 5 more from our Pokédex. Moving on to Route 102. I wanted to shake things up a bit here. Just recreating the in-game map? Yeah, that's fine, but wouldn't it be more fun to try and twist it a bit? To see how far I can stretch things and still have it feel like Hoenn? So the big idea here was, what if I flip the camera around? The paintings so far have all kept that mostly north-facing view, so how about we 180 it and paint as if we're looking down south? So that's what the top half here is. The bottom half then is how the route looks in-game. I'm still keeping the map design more or less to the pixel art grid from the games, but I want to push that more as we go and see just how far I can deviate without it feeling disconnected. You might have been wondering who this little guy is. This is Carrot, a character I made with some friends for a game we're working on. It's a little bug catching and fishing game where you run around exploring the world, trying to complete what is essentially your Pokédex. The game's got an Animal Crossing and Pokemon sort of vibe, so I figured why not throw him in here as our protagonist. Something I really want to do with this series is show a bunch of smaller stories unfolding in the background. The focus is on the world, but the world is nothing without the stories it holds. Every now and then you'll see a trainer on their journey like Carrot. Maybe they've just caught their first Pokemon or won their first battle. They might disappear for a few paintings, but they'll keep coming back as we go. Let's pull up that dex again. Another 6 off the list. We've arrived in Petalburg City. With this one, I'd realized just how reliant I'd become on that lime green, so I made it my goal to move away from that. And look, I failed. Sometimes you set a goal, and sometimes you fall flat on your face. With painting, you kind of just go on autopilot. Actually, art as a whole is kind of like that. You can't analytically move your arm in the correct, most mathematical way to create the perfect shape. It's all about intuition. So learning to paint is all about pointing that intuition in the right direction. You can't control the outcome, but you can influence the trajectory. I tried to balance it out by throwing more color on top, but the end result was this mega saturated candy colored aesthetic, which I find repulsive now. But it's one more in the pile and it was good for learning, so that's all fine. The next one takes a big step in the right direction anyway, so lesson learned. To keep things fresh, recently I've been taking people that leave comments and hiding them with their favorite Pokemon in the later paintings, because then it's like you're a part of this world too. They're quickly piling up, so I might not get to all of them, but be on the lookout, because starting next episode, some of you will be hidden away in there. Back to the painting, there aren't actually any Hoenn Pokemon to cross off here, so oops. These guys can all be found in Petalburg City, but they aren't new to Gen 3. That kind of balances out the last painting though, so I think we're good. Finally, Route 104, our final time-lapse for today. This one's easily my favourite of this bunch because I can finally see all those lessons learned being put into practice. I broke away from that lime green, though I haven't ditched green altogether just yet. The trees have way more variation in their colour and shape, and by the end you'll see a couple of people walking around, just living their lives and vibing with their Pokemon. Looking back over these 6 paintings from day one, it's pretty cool to see the progress made. I've gone from never working on projects and not knowing how to paint to now being confident that whenever I sit down at my PC, I can make something pretty cool. And it really is all about just taking the time to play around with art, forgetting about trying to make something that looks good and just exploring a fun idea. If my focus was on making a masterpiece, or if I was still stuck on doing studies, none of this would have been made because I would have stopped after about 20 minutes when it clearly wasn't going so well. Setting aside the time to just explore new ideas and enjoy making things is where all the real learning happens, and it's where you build the most confidence, which is maybe even more important. With this one done, we can cross off 2 more Pokemon, bringing our total for today to 20 down of 134 total from the Hoenn decks. I'd call that a successful day 1. One final thing, a quick sneak peek at day 2, Petalburg Woods. The next leg of our journey is going to cover the woods and the world surrounding Rustboro City where the first gym is. After that we'll be departing for Dewford and Slateport in day 3, which is going to be really exciting because we'll officially be out of the early game. So I'll see you when that rolls around.